A. So number 2, letter A. When they have the same base, we're going to use the same rules that we had for exponents. You had in the past that if you're multiplying two powers together, you add their exponents. Okay, so let's do that now. That is x to the, when you add fractions, you keep the denominator the same, but you add the numerator. 5 plus 2 would be 7/3. So now this can be written as the third root of x to the 7th. That can still be simplified because 7 is bigger than 3, right? Right. So let's break that down into x to the what? 6 and 1 left over. Good. So what that ends up making is x to the 2nd goes outside, but 1x is left inside. X to the 2nd came from 6 divided by 3. So your answer could be written like that. This is one answer, but this is the best answer, the most simplified answer. All right, for this one, what's the first thing you notice? Negative exponent. Now this is the weirdest kind right here. And negative exponent makes it move down. It becomes y positive 5/6. 1 over y to the positive 5/6. Now here's the thing. If I did that as an exponent, I would not, or as a root, I would not be able to leave it on the bottom. This means 1 over the 6th root of y to the 5th. You're not allowed to have radicals in the bottom in order for simplifying. Now, be careful here because this can be easy if you see what I'm about to tell you. This is the number that matters. If we want to make the radical sign go away, we're dealing with the root of 6, a 6th root. So I want to have a 6 as my exponent. So I'm going to multiply by the 6th root of how many y's? 5. That would give me an exponent of 10. And 10 won't divide by 6. Remember, it's the root.
Good job, Amber.
Just 1. Good. Watch this. If I just do 1, watch what happens. I get the 6th root of y to the 5th and y to the 1st make y to the 6th. And that one's going to come out okay. Okay? So I can't tell you what to do every single time because the roots can be different. I'm going to tell you to make the exponent match the root. That's going to be the trick to it. And whatever you do on bottom, you have to do to the top. So the top is going to be y, or the 6th root of y. And then to write your final answer, if you want to put it back as fractions, it would be y to the 1/6 over what would this one become? 1. Just y. Okay.
That one, is there going to be stuff like that or no?
This would be the way, you can write your answer either way. Y to the 1/6 over y or the 6th root of y over y. Depends on what the directions asked for. Remember, there's no roots allowed in the denominator, so we had to simplify that further.
That one was confusing.
But if you have a 5th root in the denominator, you have to make your exponent into a 5. If you have a 4th root, you have to make your exponent into a 4. You have to be able to simplify that particular root. That's the hardest question on that one. Letter C. We've got to think about all our tricks now. And this is one that has different bases. And they have different fractions. Watch what we can do. We can take, there's just a lot of opportunities. You can make the roots match, and then we'll take the root of all of them. So let's make an LCD of 6. This is not the only way you can do it, but this is one of the easier ways. Okay, so we want a denominator of 6 times a to a fraction that has a denominator of 6 and times b to a fraction that has a denominator of 6. All I'm trying to do is make the same root, the root of 6. So I'm just basically changing everything. So if I have to do 3 times 2 to get 6, you have to do that to the top. 1 times 2 would be 2 on top. 1/3 is the same as 2/6. What would be right here to make it 1/2? 3/6. And what's right here? Stays 5.
Come on, dude.
All right, if you've got common roots, now you can make it all as one root. Okay, so that's the 6th root of 4 to the second. A to the what?
3.
Good. And B to the what?
5.
And we can go one step further and make that the sixth root of 16, A to the third, B to the fifth. Is the sixth? Other questions? All right, there's no, the sixth root, nothing will go into 16. 3 can't divide by 6, 5 can't divide by 6. It's too small, so we're done. All right, letter D, this is another one of those most complicated ones. Let's skip that for a warm-up for tomorrow. All right, look at the bottom. Now they get just slightly different. We're dealing with numbers instead of variables, but all the same rules are going to apply. Don't cross number letter D off. We're just going to finish it later. Sure your cell phones are away.
Oh, was I back to the place? I'll write the last one.
All right, while he's finishing, look at letter A. Look at letter A right here and think about what we're dealing with. We're dealing with an 8th root of 16 and a 6th root of 2. They do not match. They're not the same kind of root. There's several different ways to handle this. Yeah, like 8th root and then 6th root. All right, so we can deal with this as fractions. This would be 16 to the 1/8, and this would be 2 over 2 to the 1/6. And what I see is that 16 can be written as 2 to something. 2 to the what makes 16?
To the 8.
No.
4.
4. 2 to the 4th
Power.
makes 16. All right. Let's see how I want my final answer to look. I remember I did this one. All right, and then we have over here 2 to like the 1/6. There's just so many different ways that you can handle it. What's 4 times 1/8? Does anybody know?
4 times 180.
1/8. 4 times the 1/8.
132.
Is it like 2?
2. 1 over 2, right? Because the 4 is on top, the 8 is on the bottom, and the
Oh, yeah.
2 stays on the bottom. So that's 2 to the 1/2. 4 over 1 times 1 over 8. Cancel the 4 and the 8, you get a 1 on top and 2 on the bottom.
I don't get it.
So,
Lily, actually,
no, because it's on the bottom.
Shut
It's
the
on the
fuck
bottom.
up, bitch ass nigga. Bro,
What we talking about?
Bro, come on. Bro, if you need these, come
Oh,
step
because the
outside.
1 to 8 becomes a 2. All right, over 2 to the 1/6. Now what we can do, that we have the same basis, now we can use our exponent rules. What do you do when one's on top and one's on bottom?
You,
Multiply the 2's.
yeah.
But one's on top and one's on bottom, don't multiply, but you're dividing them, which means you subtract the exponents. 1/2 minus 1/6. Whenever the bases are the same, this goes back to our old rules of exponents. When you're multiplying them, you add the exponents. When you're dividing them, you subtract the exponents. So one more time, we need common denominators. What's the LCD here? 6, and you'll change it into 3 over 6, minus 1 over 6. Okay, guys, if you don't take this step by step, you're going to get lost. Make sure you're concentrating. Mike, open up the notes, please. Do these numbers. And then we have 3 minus 1 is 2/6, and that is our final answer. 2 to the, reduce it, 1/3. Your answer can be written like that, or it can be written as a root, which would be the 3rd root of 2. Both of those answers are going to be the same.
Because it's the right one.
Speak up, Skyler.
Why would this go in?
Yeah, go away.
Go away like this.
Because of right here, I kept the 2 and I subtracted their exponents. So I made it only 1, 2, and I did the 1/2 minus the 1/6. It's like if you had x to the 7th over x to the 4th, you would make that x to the 7 minus 4 or 3. So it's just one of our exponent rules. You keep the base the same when they match, and you just subtract the exponents.
You are so
Good, any other questions? I know that it looks like a lot, but this is one of those cases where you have to just keep it one step at a time. And you have to notice the clue, that you can make a matching base, because that's always better. Cross off the B, because it's the exact same thing. Yeah. Cross that off. We'll try 2 more, and then we'll just practice.
2 more.
You know what? It's okay. Let's leave C. We'll practice that one on another day, and let's practice letter D. I don't want to confuse you yet with letter C. Oops, I forgot to do that.
I want 150,000.
All right, letter D. There's so many different ways to do this. I'm just trying to find the way that would make the most sense. Do you see that this could be 2 squared? What would this one be?
10.
8. 2 to the what?
10 power.
5. 10. Doesn't it have like 2 to the 5th, right? Oh, we didn't do fifths. 2 to the 5th is 32. 4 is the same as 2 squared. And 32 is the same as 2 to the 5th. So we can write it this way. Write it down with me. This is the same as 2 to the 5th. And this is the same as the 8th root of 2 squared. This is another way of doing it rather than just jumping right into the fractions. Recognize that they both have a root of 2. Questions on where that came from? Alright, now let's write them as fractions. What would the top become? 2 to the 5 over 10, 2 to the 5/10, and that's going to become 1/2 when we simplify it. Over, write this one for me. 2 to the, what does the fraction become?
It becomes
2
1/4.
over 8. 2 to the 1/2 over 2 to the, what is that? 1/4.
But which one's easier to do? First or after?
This way?
Yeah.
Everyone will probably look at it differently. Most of you say this way is easier. That's fine. What do I do with the exponents now?
You gotta subtract them.
Subtract 1/2 minus 1/4. The only problem is you need common denominators. Let's stick with the denominator 4. So this one doesn't have to change. What is this going to become?
2.
2/4. So all that's left to do is 2 to the 2 minus 1 is 1. 4 stays the same. 2 to the 1/4.
But you have to put it in the box.
You don't have to, but it does depend on what other directions say. But we can. What would it be in the box?
2.
2 would be inside the box, and the
4.
4 is the root.
Oh, okay.
Okay, question